Welcome to Amberg Acres. So you might be asking yourself, what am I making today? Well, what I'm making today is something I've already made once before. It's this storage rack for my nuts and bolts. Now this one here I made a few years back. It's always been up here in this garage. And then at home I had these other ones, these other compartmental totes sitting on top of this toolbox here. So what I want to do is I want to make another one just like this and attach the two together to put all the ones that used to be sitting on top of that toolbox back down in West Bend. I want to put them all next to each other. And then I have them labeled. You know, I have them labeled. This for my bolts and nuts and stuff. So I'm going to have one with 1/4-inch bolts. Then I'm going to have 1/4-inch nuts and washers. Because I'm getting filled up here that I can't have everything in one. So I need 2 1/4-inch, probably 2 5/16 and 2 3/8. The 1/2 inch I don't use that much, but that's what I'm making today. All right, it's going to be. It should stack up the same way height-wise, but I have a little bit thicker plywood, so I adjusted some of my dimensions, and so it's going to be. It might look a little different, but it's going to be. They should stack up so they're equally in the same spot, you know, side to side. So let's go over here to the bench. I have the pieces all cut up already. I have 2 sides. The sides were 15 1/4 by 36 inches tall. And then I have a back. The back is also 36 inches tall, and it is 15 inches wide. That matches that one. And then I have the bottom, which is 15 inches wide by 14 1/2. So those pieces are all cut. Then I have the little, I don't know, what do you want to call them? Rails? The rails that the boxes sit on. And those are also at 14 1/2. So they're going to sit in here, and then the back goes on here. So I have those all cut up. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to throw a little glue down and put a couple of screws in each one and hold it together, and then put the back on and then the bottom, and then I'll have to figure out a top. So the way I laid this out, I started at the bottom. The top of the first one is at 5 1/2. Let me get you a little closer here so you can see these lines. So this first line is at 5 1/2 inches. Then each one after that is at 4 1/2 inches. Okay? So 4 1/2, 4 1/2, these are all 4 1/2 until you get to the top one. The top one ends up being whatever it is. So all in all, you need seven rails to go on there, and we're just gonna line them up to the line, the top of the rail. Just like that, 7 of them. And then these boxes will fit in between there. And it just fits. It's, you know, these are 1 1/2 inches. These are all cut at 1 1/2 inches wide. And then none of this has to be perfect. I mean, yeah, your back and your bottom need to be the same dimension, and the sides here need to be the same width, but the height's off a little bit. I had a board laying here that was already 36 inches, but it's a little bit under. It's like, you know, 36 or just I'm sorry, 35 7/8, you know? So it'll work just fine. You know, once we bolt it together, you won't even notice the difference. So we're gonna get this glued up and we'll start assembling. We're just gonna put a gob of glue on there. Hopefully this stuff ain't too frozen. Yeah, it might be. A little thick in there. There we go. Just put a little strip of glue on there like that. And line it up to our top mark. And to the front, I'm just going to put a couple screws in. You ever notice how some of these screws just don't start very well? They got that little notch in them and stuff, but they don't, especially in this plywood, they don't seem to start very well. There we go, side one. Very simple, very easy. I'm gonna label this the bottom, so I know if I mix this up that it has to go a certain way. Okay, so we got both sides done. We're gonna put a little bit of glue down here and we're gonna screw it to the back. You could use nails. If you got a nail gun, that would work too as long as you're gluing it. But I prefer screws. And this stuff's been sitting around for a while, this plywood, so it's a little bit warped. But we can just pull it together with the screws. Alright, flip it around, put the other side on. Let's see, bottom. Bottom. That's why I mark it. I hate it when I put something together and after you got it all together, you realize you got it upside down and backwards. It happens more than you think. Alright, at this point we should probably check our test fit, right? Yeah, that looks good. Alright. Now our bottom. And that is off ever so slightly. I've been cutting all this stuff with the circle saw because my table saw is down still in storage yet. And I don't know, even using a straight edge, you know, I put a clamp one of my levels onto the board, and I still end up getting the stuff. It's not perfectly straight, you know, but might be time to invest in one of those guides. All right, we'll get that screwed in there. So I lied to you at the beginning of this video. I told you these sides were 15 1/4. They're only 12 1/4. I don't know where I got 15 1/4 in my head from. So I told you the wrong dimensions at the beginning. But anyhow, depending on what size, you know, totes you buy, it's going to be different anyhow. Your dimensions you're going to have to come up with your own dimensions, because these are Stanley. They're way bigger than the ones from Home Depot that I'm going to use for this. So, you know, depending on what you buy, those dimensions are all going to change. But you get the idea, anyhow, of what I'm making here. So I got it clamped together now, and it looks like my pattern is off just slightly. That some of these are going to be not quite perfectly level with each other, but that's okay. You know, nobody's going to see it. I'm the only one that's going to see it anyhow, so it don't matter. So we're going to screw these together, and we're going to put the feet back on. Then we have to figure out a top for it. You just want the front faces to line up. Okay, we'll get this flipped over. We'll get the wheels back on it, and we'll stand her up for you. There it is, all put together. Got rollers on it. You can move it around the shop. Take it over to that bench or this bench, wherever you want to go with it. Like I said before, my stager was off a little bit here. You can't hardly see it. It's not that much, but they're off just a little bit, that they don't line up perfectly. But who cares, right? So I need to put a top on there, and the only piece of wood I got left is this piece that ain't quite wide enough. But I think that's going to be good enough. It'll just that'll hold that top together, those top pieces, and all I do is I pull this out. Set it on there, open it up, take my screws out, you know. So I think that'll work just fine. So I'm gonna measure that up. I'm gonna measure that up, get it cut, and get it screwed on there. And then this job is done. Well, guys, I think that's it. You know, throw a coat of paint on it, whatever you want to do with it after this. And for me, it just stays the way it is. It works just fine in my shop. So if you like these videos, you know, give me a thumbs up and make sure you subscribe. And we'll see you on the next one.